I cheated on ex-husband with his childhood best friend. I cheated on my husband since the beginning. I cheated with the man he trusted the most. His best friend. I cheated during his birthdays, our graduation, our gender reveal, and he also squeezed me in the ceremony of our wedding, and I enjoyed it. At first I got pregnant with twin daughters. When they came out I knew they belonged to the best man of the wedding. I was too scared of telling my husband. I thought he would beat me or hurt his friend. But he never noticed. Let's call the best man BM. BM knew it was his kids. He also kept it a secret. I am a horrible person and I know. I always said to myself, man always betrays one another. Man always cheats. I was convinced my husband was cheating on me as well. You may ask, where was my husband all this time? How wasn't I caught? Husband was a pilot in the military, so it was easy to bring BM to the house while he was away. I sound like a piece of shit. Believe me, I feel like it every single day. The guilt I've been carrying all this time is unbearable. One day husband comes home while BM had me on the bed. I've never seen someone so heartbroken destroy everything in sight. I thought he was going to kill his best friend. I had to push him off BM. But doing that was like me pushing a wall. I was screaming so loud. He finally realized what was going on. He looked at his friend and he started crying. He never meant to blank out like that. Then he looked at me and it a storm in my room. Bed was flipped over. TV was destroyed in the floor. Windows were broken. Dresser was also flipped over. He started screaming at me saying, do you know what I've been through? What I had to do? I was so scared. I thought I was having a panic attack. I thought he was going to beat me to death. I've been beat down physically by my father for the tiniest thing. And by my ex-boyfriend who also cheated on me so many times. Even my father told me all men cheated. His words on his deathbed was, don't let no man put his hands on you. Any man who works extra hours is a cheater. My husband was always away, so I considered him cheating. We got tested on lie detectors and it turned out that he never even kissed another woman. He never cheated on me. He only loved me. My heart dropped so hard to the ground. I knew it was over. I literally didn't believe the test. But then if my answers were true, his has to be true as well. Everything was revealed to him. All the times I've cheated on him. The girls weren't his. And that I am pregnant again by his friend while husband was away. After this I found him sitting in a corner lifeless. His skin was pale. And his mind was somewhere. I grabbed him, told him how sorry I am. How I couldn't trust anyone. That I was so sorry. I sat with him for a couple hours. He cried all night and pushed me away. Fast forward a couple years later. I was divorced. I lost the home and was ordered by the court to stay away from him. He remained in my daughters' lives. His daughters. He was there for them. He loves them too much to leave them. I am so grateful for him. I hate myself for what I did to him. He trusts no one. He isolated himself from friend and family. The baby I had was a boy. He was born with abnormal heart rhythm. A few months ago. His heart was failing. He was dying. This was the karma I had coming to me. He needed a new heart, and what money did I have for that? Doctors said it was a price of almost of $500,000. I kept praying and praying and praying. Crying with pure agony. If it's anyone who should pay, it's me. Not my baby. My baby told me, don't worry mommy. I will take care of you always. I started crying, hold him. I overheard the doctor saying Mr. Last Name paid for the surgery. I was thinking, no way, it's the man I know. Doctors runs into the room. Takes my boy and rushes to another room. Nurses tries to calm me down and says the surgery has been paid for. She said it's anonymous, so she doesn't know who. 5 hours later. I am able to see my baby. I see his new heart is beating. I see breathing properly. He was still asleep. I was so happy and relieved. But then I thought of my ex-husband. I called and called. He ignored all my calls. All my texts. I was so confused. If anyone hated, it's him. How or why did he pay for the surgery? I learned he owns multiple companies. Today my baby is standing. Hess still recovering well. But slow and steady is the best way. God knows what's Hess doing. He heard my prayers. He answered and saves my baby. My ex-husband is a man who deserves the world. He won't ever forgive me for what I put him through. I will never forgive myself for what I did. My sister got him to tell his story on Reddit. He explained some of the things he went through while he was away. And to go home just to see a new war. He'll never understand what that's like. Someone told me that's because I'll never know how it feels to raise a child. To learn later on that it's not mine. That it's my best friend's child. And Hess right. I am the one who gives birth. And I chose a horrible dad. Beat dad for my kids instead of a true man who was in love with us. Update. So I know you guys can't stand my guts. But I am going to be completely honest with you, or as much as I can be. I told you guys what I did. But I never said why I did what I did. I am not going to give you guys the same story. It's a long story, and for those doesn't about me or X. Then you'll be able to see my previous posts. I haven't posted in a while because I needed to get away from Reddit. It was quite addicting for the wrong reasons. People have been messaging me for a while for an update, and I guess this is my update for you guys. I know I am going to get hate. But maybe it won't be as bad. I used to say it was because my father told me not to trust men. But honestly, that was true. But the blame wasn't on him. Before all this drama, I never cheated on my ex-husband. I was super in love with him. At first he couldn't cook worth a damn. So I did the cooking, lol. He was always so clingy. Couldn't stay away. Every time I had to get up in the morning, he'll put his arms around me and pull me back to bed and say 5 more minutes. He was always laughing, smiling, making jokes. When I told him I was pregnant, this man jumped to the moon and back. He was so excited. He was definitely the father to this child. We were having a son. Every time I took a step, he always watched carefully like a hawk. At the end of the day, he used to give me the nicest pedicures because my feet would start killing me. The reason I am saying all of this is because he was more in love with me than I thought. I thought I loved him more. On the end of the second trimester, I ended up having a miscarriage. It broke us. It split our hearts and ripped 1,000 times more. I would come home with my sister and we'll find him crying holding the crib he built for our son. We had his room ready. Needless to say, I can't fully express our pain. He started playing his games more. He started watching movies more. I hated how a grown man played so many games. I used to fight with him because he wasting money on video games. He would scream at me saying, "Do I give you shit when you spend $70 on your FING nails? Your eyelashes? Your fake ass weave? Your 300 dresses? That's more than full price game that just came out, by the way. Don't want people taking down this post, so I'll keep it on this level. Yes, I know." He had a point there. Guys, looks. We grew up in time where games, movies, comic books, computers were new and the stigma of playing video games was shunned. I never grew up playing video games. But I enjoy them now and I love playing games with my kids. My ex turned these girls into super competitive girls. Everything they do, they have to win. One day X gets called into deployment. He told me the news and we were still grieving about our son. I begged him to stay. But he said he's ordered to go. That he can't say no. He left and I resented him for that. He said I won't be alone. That I have my sister, my mom, and his brother at the time was here. He told his brother to take care of me, to watch over me and be there for me. His brother was giving me attention when my husband wasn't giving me any. I eventually fell for him. Husband was away for 6 months. He didn't catch us when he came from his first deployment, but eventually he did. 2 months after he came back, I was pregnant. He became his clingy self again. Always leaning on me. Kissing. Bothering me to get my attention. It wasn't the same for me. I got pregnant and I told him. He cried again and said, "This time I am keeping my eye on you," looking at my stomach. Every night he kept playing with my stomach. When we got the news, we were told they were twins. I never seen a man so happy. Honestly, he looked like a 10-year-old. 1 month after being born, they started to look like me. But I already knew he was not the father. I couldn't tell him. I was afraid of what he might do. Because I am 5 feet 3. His ex-brother is 5 feet 8 and X is 5 feet 11 and 180 pounds. So yeah, he's incredibly strong. But when I tell you I never seen a father and daddy like him, I mean it. There's a reason why both of them said Dada as their first words. There's a reason why when they started walking, they walked past me and went to him. He is such an amazing dad. When he came back from his second deployment, found me with his best friend on the bed that he bought. I thought we were going to die. I saw my life flash before my eyes. I never seen a man get beat so badly. On the day we had to get the DNA results, you could see his soul coming out of him. He had an emotionless face. Tears just bursting out of his eyes. Then 1 minute later, pregnancy test said I am pregnant again. Ever since, he was no longer the same man. Though he still remained in the girl's lives. He is constantly aggressively mean to people. He pushes people out of his life except for the girl so no one has the chance to hurt him. When I was at his house last year, I told him I hope you find a woman you deserve and then you can treat her like how you treated me. He laughed and said he'll never be that weak beta male again. He said he loved me too much and that mistake ain't happening again. I didn't understand what a beta male is. So if you're in love with your wife, that means you're weak. I hope that's not the mentality of men nowadays. There are great women out there. Thanks to ex-husband. My son learned how to build pieces and he sells them. Hess doing great and I am so thankful for this miracle. I am working hard as a nurse and we're still on a pandemic. Things are always insanely hectic. I decided to tell you guys the truth and update with how things are going. I read the whole story. The worst kind of betrayal I have ever heard of. The only winner in this horrible tragedy is the ex-lover. He got unlimited sex during those years, maybe more sex than your husband. Other resources and the best of your body. You gave him 3 children. When the truth came out he just walked away banging another woman. You are now a 40-year single mother with 3 kids. Which the youngest has serious health issues. Your ex-husband is around 40, single. Childless and has trust issues, probably gonna stay single and childless. I just don't get it. PLS, explain to me. If ex-lover was so good in bed that you keep hooking up with him, why stay with ex-husband? Boyfriend at that time, why haven't you dumped Nini and got together with ex-lover? Why get married and lie to him about the children and keep continuing betraying him for years? Was it just his money and the comfort life High was providing? Or what? Some hard truths coming. Your cheating was a personal choice. You wanted to and repeatedly engaged in cheating. Even after you were caught. You are rationalizing your decisions using your family of origin issues. When it comes down to it, you wanted to engage with other men. Your actions have devastated your ex-H. Hence he has cut you out of his life. Respect his decision. Maybe one day he may soften his stance. He may not. That is his choice now. People day that karma comes. Yours came in knowing that God answered your prayers by sending your ex-H to help you in your darkest hour. Yes, your son is alive. Now you have to know he is alive because of your ex-H love for his daughters. Not you. There is something that come out positive amid the tragedy you have brought about. I pray that you find humility through all this. Yes, God has answered your prayers for saving his life. And I am a firm believer in one being able to redeem oneself. You need to put your faith in God's hands. Put in the enormous amount of work in improving yourself. Your issues. Your ability blame shift your actions rather than owning them. Show your children that you are the mother you should be. A positive role model. One that has risen from the ashes of destroying a family to better her life in an honest way. I hope you seek professional counseling to begin answering the hard questions facing you. Sow it for yourself. Do not for your children. Maybe one day you will become a safe partner for another man if you put in the work required. Hit like. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our channel.